What's going on YouTube? Chase here in Aftershock Videos, and today we have the deck profile of the Iron Chains. This was another suggestion for me, and honestly, there was like maybe, let's see. I never heard of Iron Chain before, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Iron Chain cards. There's literally 6. I searched Iron Chain and they have literally 6 cards. So I had to think of a strategy to use this on my own. But however, I did notice a slight theme that they kind of go for, and I kind of went with that. So let's just look at the for example, let's use the Poison Chain card as a example. Now, this one says, during the end phase of your turn, if you did not attack, you can make your opponent send cards equal to the number of face-up Iron Chains monsters you control from the top of their deck to the graveyard. So this basically kind of foolish burials, it mills your opponent's cards if you didn't attack, so it sends them to the graveyard. So my immediate thought is kind of like the Mayakashi concept of trying to deck out your opponent, but also in the process, I wanted to add to that would be to banish. So I have Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos, and also Banisher of the Light and Banisher of the Radiance. So let's just go by card, and let's just see how this deck goes. We have 3 Iron Chain Repairman. This is a level 4, 1600 attack, 1200 defense. Says when this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 300 damage to your opponent. Once per turn, you could special summon 1 level 4 or lower Iron Chain monster from your graveyard except itself. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect, which is fine. It's just a body on the field. We have 3 Banisher of the Radiance. We have 3 Iron Chain Coil. This is a goofy looking card, but this card says once per turn you can target 1 Iron Chain monster you control. It gains 300 attack and defense, so not a whole lot going on there, but it is a level 3 tuner, so that comes in handy. Then next we have 3 Iron Chain Snake. This is a level 3 rep. Now what's funny is that these have random types. Like this is a Earth Reptile, this is an Earth Machine, this is an Earth Warrior. It's just all over the place. But Iron Chain Snake says during your main phase you can equip this card to a face-up monster your opponent controls. That monster loses 800 attack and defense. When it is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, its controller sends cards equal to its level from the top of their deck to the graveyard. So there again is another effect of sending your opponent's cards from their deck to graveyard. So that'll help speed up the process of milling them out with banishing also. So next we have 3 Banishers of the Light, 3 Ash Blossom for interruptions, 1 Grid Module since we are going to be trying to banish a lot. And then next we have 3 Iron Chain Blasters. This is a level 2 warrior, random, but says once per turn you can send 1 Iron Chain monster you control to the graveyard to inflict 800 damage to your opponent. So when Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos is up, this could come in handy if you need to fuel the banish zone. We have 2 Swords of Revealing Light to stall. We have 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Gravekeeper Servants to again help stall. So unless your opponent sends 1 card from the top of his or her deck, he or she cannot declare an attack. So pair that with Dimensional Fissure or Macrocosmos, then where they won't be able to send to the graveyard, then they won't be able to attack at all. And then of course we have the 2 Iron Chains. We have 1 Dimensional Fissure, 1 Infinite Impermanence, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, 2 Mirror Forces to protect ourselves, 1 Macrocosmos, 2 Solemn Strikes, and 2 Solemn Judgments. So the whole concept of this deck is to try to literally get them to do nothing and just keep milling until we win the game or they give up. For the extra deck we have 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Deco Talker, just because we can, once we get monsters in the zone it points to, we can protect it by getting rid of those monsters. 1 Excess Code Talker, and one of the big boys for the banishing effect is the Topological Zeroboros. Not sure if we're going to be able to get to it, however, but it does gain 200 attack for each card banished, and it starts at 3k, so he can get pretty big, pretty good, or pretty fast. We got 1 Submersible Carrier Aerial Shark. It says 2 level 3, so this is not that hard to make. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card and inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each of your banished monsters. So that could end up being a lot of damage, depending on how many banished monsters there are. We have one number 17 Leviathan Dragon. This is just an easy XYZ beat stick just to attack with. Then of course we have the Zeus. In case we can get into the Synchros, we can get into Brionac just to help get rid of back row. Then we have 3 Iron Chain Dragon. This is a level 6, takes 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner, so it's pretty generic. It says you can remove from play all Iron Chain monsters from your graveyard in case we get them in the graveyard before we can establish the banishing. And this card gains 200 attack for each card removed until the end phase. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, send the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. So we have 3 of those, and that is pretty good. Then of course, since we have a lot of Earth monsters and our Earth tuners, we can go into Goryo Guardian if we need to, and then 1 Samurai Destroyer. Nothing really in the side deck. This is just kind of a one-trick pony for the most part, but this should be interesting. If anything, this deck should be sort of a pain to kind of deal with, but I think once we get things started, I think this could be a really, really fun deck just to kind of mess around with. But anyways, let's get into the EDO Pro Duels and let's see what this deck can do. Alright guys, here we are in our first match with the quote-unquote Iron Chain deck. Let's just see if we can get some sort of win condition. Well, that's pretty good. Wish we were going first. Draco. Interesting. Wow, this hand is pretty stacked. 1, 2, 3, 4. Activate swords. Alright, and we'll end our turn. I mean, don't get much simpler than that, I guess. Oh, he quit. Well, that's kind of the concept of what we're going for, but wasn't very long, so let's go ahead and get into another one. So here we are in our second match. Let's see if we can... Man, I am never going to be able to... I have not been able to win a rock, paper, scissors to save my life. Okay. Kind of glad we're going second, because this isn't the best hand. Setting a bunch of back row. Okay. Doesn't really help us, but let's activate Gravekeeper Servant. Another blue eyes person. Not a whole lot going on, so let's normal summon the Iron Chain Snake. Let's kill train. Alright, that's about it. Don't think we're gonna be winning this one, because that, unless we draw like Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to wrap this one up. I almost thought we saved ourselves, but you know, it was a matter of time before we lost one. This isn't like the best metaforming deck or whatever, but alright, so 1 win, 1 loss. Getting to 1 more. Alright guys, here we are in our third and final match. Let's see if we could get the 2. Let's see if we can get the 2. The 2-fer. Let's go first. Thank God. Alright, set 1. Set 2. Set 3. And set 4. And we'll end the turn with that. Let's see how this goes. Plunder Patrol. Let's get special summoned. Let's let it. Okay, now Ice Dragon's present. We'll grab that. Fiend. Banish them both. Okay. Still can't hit over this. Okay, what does this do? Quick effect, you target one effect monster you control. Draw one card. Yeah, I will solemn this. Guess fine, I guess. But that's trap. I guess we just try to hit in. Battle. Do 11 to the dome. Figured that's what was set. No. Okay. Okay, so we got our damage. That's not a tuner or nothing, so let's just main phase 2 and phase. Solemn Judgment, that second summon. Battle phase. Gonna hit into my Banisher. Nice. Okay, so we got him at a somewhat of a standstill. So let's activate Gravekeeper Servant. Okay, let's normal summon Iron Chain. Snake. Battle. We'll hit in for an extra 100. And we'll hit in for 800. End phase. So this isn't the best setup, but however, the fact that we're getting something done is pretty funny. Okay. We have another Iron Chain Blaster. Well, this does not help. Okay. Target one monster your opponent controls becomes that attribute until the end of the phase. Take one monster for graveyard, either at your end or special summon it. Interesting. Okay, well, we can deal with that. Okay. So I think what we need to do now is his original attack is 1600. Now I think we can do Nightmare Phoenix. Go 1, 2. Activate Nightmare Phoenix. Pitch this. We'll get rid of this because it makes him stronger, I'm guessing. Nice, so 2100. Kind of against the wall here, but we got him low. Okay, so he's still 2100, so we need to hit over that. So let's go with no point of using Nightmare Unicorn. We don't have anything in hand. Let's go with Decode Talker. Okay, so let's battle. Well, that's a problem. Now it's kind of hard to get over. And we'll end phase. Alright, so it's pretty obvious we're going to lose this one. But, you know, this deck wasn't meant to be, like, overpowered. I could have done, like, Dragoon or, you know, Destroyer, Phoenix, Enforcer, but I just wanted to see, kind of play into the actual archetype that was requested. Like try to keep true, obviously, to what was recommended. The Iron Chains, they seem to like to dump from the deck to the graveyard. So, that came up with a strategy like that, just to kind of play along with it. Just it is what it is. I mean, what can I necessarily do to with what am I expected to do with a archetype that only has 6 cards? Only 6 cards. But anyways, this is kind of fun. It actually did win quite a bit in the testing, but I just got up against a couple of better decks, so that'll do it for this episode, guys. Let me know down below what you think of the Iron Chains, or what would you do differently? What's a different strategy you would have taken? And just let me know, all together. So I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about it. So don't forget to check out the Aftershock Videos merch. We have lots of cool stuff on there. Don't forget to check out the Patreon if you feel like you want to support the channel. Also, if any of these cards interest you, feel free to check out my TCG player account. I'll leave the link for that below in the description as always. And go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a ton to me. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.